Hey folks, MasakoX here. For December, we have chosen to put our thinking caps on and reflect on one of the biggest things to have come about from fan discussion since the series of Dragon Ball came to the Western consciousness in a big way. Had Bardock and Goku finally met in person, would they have struck a chord with one another and set about a brand new relationship? Or would it have ended with something completely horrific? Or maybe they just don't care. But then again, this has led to one of Bardock's wishes being granted. And I'm not talking about one being made on Shenron. I'm talking about the one that he hadn't seen in over 40 years. But Bardock! Gine was the one to break the silence. Bardock, after all these years and meticulous planning as to what to say when he would see her again, failed to come up with anything. He was left completely lost for words. But Gine understood. It was a lot for him to take in. It wasn't every day that somebody lost in purgatory, in between realms, would find themselves a stable place to live. How have you been? She prompted, and with that, he allowed himself a smile. Without another second to spare, Gine rushed over to her bow and embraced him, shocked but happy. I thought I'd never see you again. Bardock felt the same way, but again, the words were just not coming to mind. He was choked up. His fingers slipped through her hair, holding her tight in that embrace. One that, in his mind, could have lasted forever, for all he and she cared. But sadly, it did not. They could feel the eyes of the West Kai boring into their very souls. They split apart and looked at one another. What are you doing here? Where have you been? Said Gine. I didn't see you in the processing station. I thought you'd been lost. Bardock finally spoke. I thought the same about you, but yeah, it's a complicated question of a spiritual nature. I've been in some low places. Gine looked up and was expecting to see something, but didn't. Oh, your halo. You don't seem to have a halo. Is that why I didn't see you? No, Frieza got me too. I'm confused. If Frieza killed you too, then how are you... That's the freaky part. I was brought back to life by Kakarot. Kakarot? He's alive? Bardock looked a little awkward. Like I said, it's complicated. Wait, didn't Paikon tell you? Gine looked very sternly at Paikon at the other side of the room, and Paikon then looked a bit like... Yeah, I probably should have said something. But to be fair, I don't think anything that Bardock would have said could have calmed her down. She hadn't been this full of joy and surprise in years. Kakarot, are he and Raditz okay? Bardock looked away. One of them is, he muttered quietly. Oh, Gine sighed. Bardock omitted the part where Kakarot had effectively killed Raditz. It wasn't the right time. Did you see him in the low place? Bardock shook his head. He had looked for him a little bit, but ultimately gave up on the account of HFIL being that big and Raditz being far too sneaky. He saw a lot of different shady types in there, sure, but none of them, even those of Saiyan origin that he had discovered, reminded him of his son. Nor had they seen him. Well, either way, I'm getting you out of here. You don't need to serve this greedy cricket man any longer. Gine blinked, confused. Go? Go where? Anywhere, so long as it's with you, Bardock said with genuine excitement and mirth. But Bardock, I kind of like it here. You what? Bardock was floored. He didn't expect that reaction. Are they making you say this drivel? Are you being held against your will? You know why I like it here, Bardock. Because of your mercy on me back on planet Vegeta. I spent my days either chopping meat or raising our kids. Had I not received it, in fact, I probably would have ended it all years ago. Here, I can, develop. Meeting so many beings from so many afterlives, teaching me so many ancient recipes and traditions. I think if I hadn't been born a Saiyan, I probably would have become a gourmet chef or something. She chuckled. At a king's court, but even fancier than that.
She is rather good. I would even say she would even give Lord Beerus some food for thought. Get it? Food for thought?
Bardock had no time or patience to ask what a Beerus was. He was on a mission. We can find you a better place. We're done here. Pycon then walked over to him before he could move. Bardock, she cannot leave with you. Who said she can't? Her or you? Pycon sighed. Bardock, you don't seem to grasp the significant anomaly that Gine being here constitutes. Without King Yema's permission, she cannot leave this planet. If she did, she would be arrested and carted up to purgatory proper, her soul destined to wander aimlessly for all eternity. She was lucky to have come into our domain. Even if she could leave, the dead can only be in the world of the living for a limited time. You should remember that with Kakarot. They require spiritual energy to be able to cross. I'm sorry. Okay, fine. Well, then I'll stay here then. West Kai's eye twitched. Not another Saiyan. Also troublesome. You are not dead. And worst of all, not your galactic sector. The ogres can get very picky about that. You're supposed to keep to the northern quadrant. Whatever. I'm strong enough to take on anyone that dare.
Bardock? No.
Gine looked at him and spoke with a commanding tone that she rarely used against him. Don't you want to put all of this behind? Start again? Frieza is gone, and so is his father. Kakarot destroyed them, or... well, helped destroy him at least.
Bardock, I'm dead. I've come to terms with that. There are far worse afterlives that I could have had, and now I'm even happier knowing that you finally met Kakarot and got a second chance. There's so much more I would love to know.
I got an idea. I can ask Kakarot and his underlings to wish you back to life too, like they did with me. They have those weird magical orbs that can... Bardock felt Gine's grip loosen and pull away.
No, Bardock. I don't want that. Just live. For me. I'm here. I always will be. You know where I am. Just try living a little, will ya? If what you say about Frieza is true, then you can.
Bardock closed his eyes. I'm not sure if I can. Pycon placed his hand firmly on Bardock's shoulder. Hey, if this changes anything, I can at least talk to Mr. Doesn't Cook My Own Meals over there and ask if you can visit from time to time. Bardock looked back at him. Yeah, I would like that. Thanks. You know what? You're alright, Pycon. For now, though, I would say your goodbyes. West Kai can get rather irritated socializing, and could go to Yema or even worse when he's cranky. Bardock didn't want to say goodbye, but he had to. She was right, though. At least he knew where she was. However, the return to King Kai's planet was a lonely affair. As he got back to it, only the owner was there. Where's Goten?
Oh, Goku took him back home after he, bounced.
Hope you two didn't...
Relax, monkey boy, I didn't tell them. So, was your search fruitful?
King Kai knew the answer already, though, judging from Bardock's behavior, but decided to ask anyway because, conversation. Yeah, he's at your co-worker's place. West Kai.
With that little twerp? Oh, he kept that hidden real good. Ugh. I'm not gonna lie, Bardock, that's not a good place to be. He's a real piece of work, that one. I'm sorry, buddy.
Bardock sat in silence for a moment, then returned to training. King Kai decided not to push him any further. Bardock wasn't the most exuberant of Saiyans going, and he had told him a lot anyway, so, best not poke the giant monkey. Over the following months, Bardock was often seen disappearing off-world, and King Kai knew exactly where he was going, but chose to ignore it. Initially, it didn't seem like a problem, until he then received a call from King Yema explaining that West Kai had brought to his attention, aka snitched, that he, King Kai, had been allowing a mortal to travel Snake Way and intrude in opposing quadrants without permission from Yema himself, which was rather troublesome, and he would rather avoid taking any drastic action. So he was sending him a warning rather than a formal complaint. I know that West Kai is a cantankerous son of a gun. You know how the rules operate, bub. You don't want the lady to get banished or worse.
It's fine, Yema. I appreciate the heads up.
He hung up.
Oh, great. Bardock's gonna be real happy about this.
And Kai was right. He wasn't happy. However, Bardock did understand that his visits would have to become less frequent, and less conjugal. Yeah, he'd have to go when Westkai wasn't at his place or he was busy with something else. Luckily, Pycon had managed to get him his schedule so they could see each other without penalty. That would definitely help. That Pycon guy, he was a really good wingman. His son and grandson were also visiting from time to time on King Kai's planet. Surprised that Bardock had been so adamant about staying on this planet despite him being alive, considering that he'd learnt pretty much all the Kai had to offer. He could be anywhere else, but Bardock snubbed anywhere else, even his beloved Mount Palzu. From Goten, Bardock had learned that while the Dragon Balls had fully recharged from reviving him, as it took them about a year or so to do, apparently when you revive someone, that someone could simply refuse to be restored to life. And knowing how stubborn Gine could be, yeah, she probably would have refused. He remained here then, training, with the gains getting smaller and smaller. Him being here was providing ever-diminishing returns, he realized. One day, when Kakarot was there training, something was different. King Kai was pacing around, acting very nervous. "King Kai, what's wrong?" said Goku, concerned.
Nothing.
"Oh, okay then."
Goku returned to training, trying to catch his own Kamehameha. Bardock waved for his son to stop. He wasn't buying it. "Spill it, Cricket, what's up?" King Kai sighed, knowing the jig was up.
Beerus is coming.
"Who?" the Saiyans both said. King Kai then reluctantly explained to them about the God of Destruction.
Wait, the Beerus?
Bardock had completely forgotten about Beerus, but in that moment, hearing that name and seeing King Kai's tension, it all clicked back into place. I thought he was just a legend.
He's real? Of course he is. Gods are real, you know. You talking to one?
With all due respect, King Kai, you don't exactly set the standard very high.
Why you?
Salutations, North Kai. A refined, though gravelly voice was heard from behind King Kai as two figures appeared.
How long has it been
since I last came here?
327 years.
327 years indeed, and beg pardon, I see that you have guests. I do hope I'm not interrupting, and they're Saiyans. Weeks, what a curious coincidence we have here.
"Oh, hey, Lord Beerus. I'm Goku, a Saiyan from Earth, and this here's my father, Bardock."
Yes. Do any of you two know about the Super Saiyan God legend? Goku blinked twice.
"You mean the legendary Super Saiyan?"
Bardock shook his head. No, he's talking about a different legend. Sometimes it gets mixed with the Super Saiyan thing. Not much to say, though. He's been lost for eons. Maybe the Princeling could tell you the historical version. The Princeling? I think he's referring to Vegeta, Lord Beerus. He is currently residing on Earth. Ah, Vegeta. I remember that little brat. You remember him too? You remember the last time we darkened his doorway, Whis? I think you left him with quite the severe trauma. No, his father was a jerk. He deserved it. Well, this Vegeta would know more, most likely.
"Wait, Lord Beerus?"
shouted Goku, King Kai's eyes widening maniacally.
Goku, no!
"I heard that you're crazy strong. I'd love to test you in a battle."
Beerus smirked. Oh, a feisty one, aren't you? Bardock shook his head. You have no idea. All right, give me all you've got, Saiyan. Entertain me. As Goku then powered up to Super Saiyan, he charged at Beerus and missed. Bardock couldn't believe his eyes. This was the first time in this second life of his that he'd seen a Super Saiyan missing, not on purpose. What was this being? But that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now. If you like this story, check out 2020's full story where Videl got to train more for the 25th Budokai. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!